Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. A special warm welcome if you're brand new here. My name's KiwiSimsKate. Kiwi because I'm from New Zealand, Sims because I love The Sims, and Kate because that's my name. As simple as that. Today I'm bringing you a pretty large build. It's maybe my largest residential build in quite a while that includes the exterior and both furnishing the interior and quite a lot of landscaping as well. This is on the 64 by 64 lot in not Copper Ridge, Chestnut Ridge in I was mixing up Copperdale and Chestnut Ridge. Chestnut Ridge, which is the world that we got with the Horse Ranch expansion pack. And I really love the aesthetic of this world. I really love the lighting. I love the mixture of kind of this sort of burnt green color of a lot of the grass texture with this really kind of red rock. So yeah, a gorgeous world. It sort of looks like maybe it was based around places like Montana maybe. Very horse ranch vibe world. I don't know. I don't know what you call it. But it's great. I love it. I love this pack. I was not sure if I would enjoy it. And then when I actually got my hands on it, I was really surprised at how much I loved all the items. They work so well with a lot of our other packs like Seasons and even Cottage Living, which is based more on British type countryside. This is more an American style countryside. They work so well together. And in actual fact, I found as I was furnishing this and building this home, there were quite a few packs that worked well. I end up using quite a lot of windows from Snowy Escape even, which doesn't feel like it would work, but it really does. Those windows actually are some of my favorite. They are really multi-purpose. They can be used in a lot of different styles. Anyway, so this is a residential build, as I said earlier. It's quite a large family home. There are, and forgive me if I forget what this house is, because I built this on stream live on our Twitch channel, which you can check out under KiwiSimsKate. There's a link down below as well, just on my YouTube channel to my other socials. But we do some building every now and then in the channel, and we built this one not long after Horse Ranch came out, I believe, and it took me a long time to build. So that's why we've got a lot of footage here, and this is a longer video. It's definitely on the longer side of my videos, and something I try to avoid really. But I just couldn't help it with this. There was a lot to show, and I didn't want to cut out too much. So we have a barn, a red barn that's attached to one section of the home, and then we have, I think it's a 3-bedroom home. Honestly, I can't remember. We will see, I guess. Let's discover that together later on in the video. That's just a little teaser to keep you watching so you can find out how many bedrooms the house has. But first I work on getting the front view right, because I am actually working off an image that I found on Pinterest, and I really loved the stark contrast of the bright red barn in front of this white siding wooden ranch style home. That was really what caught my eye, and I wanted to duplicate that and try and create that into The Sims. I also had, I believe I had the floor plan, maybe I didn't have the floor. I think I did have the floor plan, but I took some creative liberties with it because of course it's The Sims and not everything was going to work perfectly. What I did know, and I took from the inspiration, was that the corner of the home that connects from the main section to the red barn is on the in the upstairs level on the first floor was the master bedroom with like a kind of a walk-through ensuite area. So that section, I wondered if it, like I wanted it to feel quite renovated, and perhaps like there are areas of this house that they really did up, and maybe it was a much older home than what it looks like from the inside. So yeah, this home has all the kind of regular mod cons of a modern house, but keeping that rustic ranch style aesthetic as well throughout a lot of the furnishing. There's a huge garden, as you can imagine, on this style of house. So I included, in fact, I had quite a hard time because the house itself is not that big, but then I needed to fill up all of the space around it. So I had a hard time deciding exactly what I was going to put. I wanted this big sort of sweeping driveway that came in from the archway at the front. So I add that, and then of course beside the barn there's a section for the horses to hang outside if they want to. There's a garden, an outdoor garden patch, and a glass house. There's a chicken coop and fenced area for the chickens. There's an outdoor shed at the back which has the nectar making machine activity thing in it, and a bunch of barrels like they're storing some nectar that they've made perhaps. There's a swimming pool out the back, and then I also created a obviously fake nectar vineyard off the side of the back corner. So all of that kind of landscaping stuff I get to nearer the end, but I start first and foremost with the shape of the home and the interior, the furnishing of the house, which is kind of my favorite part, but I love it all, to be honest. I can't pick favorites. I have trouble picking favorites. This red barn here does change shape slightly. I actually make it one tile smaller a little bit later, and I'm not entirely sure if I kept that in the footage. So just for your information, if you download this and you're wondering why it looks a little bit different, I couldn't decide if I liked this little walkway in between the two pens, and by the time I'd nearly finished the build, I decided I hated it. So I made the whole barn one tile smaller, narrower, and they just share one fence between the two different horse beds, and I think that works much, much better. I didn't have any restrictions on the packs that I was using, so yeah, I do use quite a lot of DLC for this build, but because of the vibe and the look I was going for, a lot of it is repeated. Obviously, there's plenty of horse ranch, there's a lot of seasons, there's a lot of cottage living items, and there's also a lot of cats and dogs as well, but as I said, it is not a restricted pack build, so yeah, there's, and I own almost every single piece of DLC. I think there's one Kaz kit that I've not bothered purchasing yet, but I'm sure I will be getting that shortly. I'm a bit of a completionist, so I like to have all of the packs. But also recently, just before Christmas 2023, I was accepted into the EA Creator Network. Yay, so go me. I'm really grateful for that, and it means that I can bring you content faster because generally I get gifted the DLC, and then I often get to do a giveaway on top of that. So we ran a giveaway for the For Rent expansion pack that came out not long ago, and also for the two new kits, the Goth Galore kit and the Castle Estate kit. If you saw my last video on this channel, it's the large castle build. So that obviously was my first kind of, I did try it out on stream a little bit, but this was my first sort of proper build using the Castle Estate kit, and it is really cool. So we did a couple of giveaways actually for both of those kits. I did one over on my Twitter page and one on my Twitch live and stream. So if you don't have all the packs and you're always after a good little giveaway, you're keeping your eye out for that, some good free content, make sure you're following me over on Twitter and over on Twitch, so that when I do another giveaway, you can be in the draw to win. Usually they're pretty simple. It's just kind of a random draw. You just need to be following me, and that's sort of it. So yeah, it's something to get in on if that's what you're interested in. So I finished off the barn there, the interior, but as I said, it changes ever so slightly. And then I move on here to the main section of the house. This house has got a pretty large kitchen. The downstairs is a slightly odd, I suppose, layout. It's not my favorite, but it works, I think. I've got an office down here as well, a fairly sizable kitchen, a full bathroom, I believe. I think it ends up being a full bathroom. I think it has a shower, toilet, and sink. Entranceway, dining room, dining, living, kind of open plan. The living room is not that big. I could have expanded the house a little bit. So if you wanted a larger living room, you'd probably want to get rid of the study, the office. You know, an office in a Sims house is quite a luxury. You don't necessarily need one. You could put a small desk nook somewhere if you prefer, and if you want to have more space for a living room. But I kind of like the cozy living room that I created. It's got a big fireplace and yeah, feels very cozy. And then I attempt to make a floor plan for upstairs, and this took me a while. I think I cut out a little bit of my footage thinking about what I was going to do. I went back and forth on what I thought was going to be the best layout. I like to have like a hallway, but where I'd place the stairs, and I was happy with the stairs, I didn't want to move them. I had a little bit of trouble, but eventually I get there. And there's a family bathroom, of course, upstairs, and the main like master bedroom, parents' room, whatever you want to call it, has also got an ensuite. So it's a 4-bedroom home in total. There you go. I forgot. So 4 bedrooms, family bathroom upstairs. There's a kind of walk-through wardrobe area for the master bedroom and an ensuite for them as well. So plenty of space upstairs. I would just say if I wanted to change anything with this house, it would maybe be make the living room a little bigger, but there's loads of outdoor space. I figured this family probably doesn't spend a ton of time inside anyway. There's all sorts of things to get done on the ranch, horses to be fed and looked after, a huge garden, chickens. I envisioned an outdoorsy family who spend their time either cooking in the big kitchen or prepping their gardens and maintaining the ranch. The kitchen is the first thing that I furnish. I often start with kitchens because I feel like it's a little bit of the heart of the home. I love food, so it's often my favorite room to furnish, and I really wanted to use this exposed brick in here, and of course I I want to say new, but it's not a new pack anymore. The counters, at the time of building this, it was fairly new. I wanted to use the Horse Ranch counters. I really, really love the textures that we got with this pack. They're so rustic. They have so much detail in them. I really appreciate that. I think some of them even look a little bit like custom content. Like, how good is this? How good are these objects that they gave us? And I mixed them with some appliances from Growing Together, the oven and the refrigerator. I love these objects. I'm not using any custom content in this build, but I am using a couple of mods that help me with my building, just make things easier. But it's not going to flag this build as custom content in the gallery. So as far as the downloader is concerned, it shouldn't cause you any issues. I use the tool mod in order to change sizes of items, like you would have seen me do there with the fridge, or to rotate objects and do a bunch of other things, manipulate things in the world. And then I also use Twisted Mexie's other mod called Better Build By, and that allows me to sort through the build by menu a lot easier. It is so helpful. It's something I can do without gameplay mods. I enjoy using them, but they're not a must for me. But these building mods are pretty important to me. So when we get an update or a patch or something in the game, and I have to wait until mods are updated, obviously I am very patient because I appreciate them making them for us, but it's a tough time. I often just don't even bother doing much in my game until some of my favorite mods are updated. Because they're integral. And I also wanted to keep loads of bench space in this kitchen, so you'll see me leaving quite a lot of the benches clear for you to maybe do some family cooking. Like, I really love that you can cook together, even if when I've tried it, it's been a little bit glitchy. I really love that concept, and I wanted this space here to be big enough that you could happily have a couple of Sims, chopping up food or putting things into the oven, etc. I do, again, change one or two really small things in there before I upload it, but nothing really that's going to be make a major difference. Then I move on to, so how I mentioned before, this is the little living room nook. I place it around the corner here with this big fireplace, using that same brick that I used in the kitchen. So I make a brick wall there with the brick fireplace on top. And then the section that's between the kitchen and the living room is a sort of dining room. It's not really a room because it's not closed off, but a dining area. Of course, using lots of the new stuff from Horse Ranch. Love this table. I just am so happy we got a table with a runner on it. How amazing would it be if we got tablecloths that could fit on a bunch of different current tables that we have in the game? I think I would go a little bit crazy for those. Please, can we have those? And then I used 2 of the chairs that we got. I think we only got the 2 types of dining chairs in Horse Ranch, so I used them both. The more like wooden traditional one, and then those high back armchairs for each end of the dining table as well. Moving on to the living room. God, I love these sofas so much. I love all of the swatches that we got in them. I love that we got some more ranch style, I guess, like leathers. But then I also really appreciate that we got these fabric swatches as well in the stripes. There's this yellowy orange version, and then there's I think a blue and white option as well. Love a good striped sofa. The rugs are gorgeous from this pack, so I had to use pretty much every rug across this build. If you've not got Horse Ranch yet and you're a builder and you weren't sure if it would work, I just can't get enough of these objects, and I would say they are far more they're far more what's the word, like oh, my brain has turned to mush. It's been a very long week. Adaptable. They're far more adaptable than you might give them credit for. You know, it's a horse ranch pack. You might think that it's just all too rustic, but actually, you know, with that sofa having those different swatches, yeah, there's a lot of variety, and I think that it works with a lot of modern stuff as well. I mean, I feel like this style is quite in fashion anyway, so you could really mix it with some ultra modern pieces and it would work. Yeah, I love it. I think it's, for the build buy at least, one of my favorite expansion packs now. I don't know. A lot of people ask me what are my favorite packs, and that's a really difficult question to answer because I have a lot. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's probably one of my favorite favorite EPs for build buy. This is the small, well, it's not that small. This is the office that I told you about. It's got the new desk and the new computer. Did we get that with Horse Ranch, I think? The typewriter type thing. I went for some really rich colours in here. I often do that with offices, actually. I'm starting to realise I've got a little bit of a habit when it comes to offices to use these darker, rich tones. I've used it in our Legacy family home build as well. The Legacy gameplay that I do on Twitch, their office has got these darker reds and blues. Yeah, a little bit more moody. I don't know what it is. I just think it fits really well, especially with the darker wood tones as well. I think it's pretty classy. Then I finish this little entrance area. I go a little bit back and forth on what I want to place here, and what sort of looks good and not out of place. I can't remember if I even keep those flowers just inside the door there. Maybe I get rid of them. I couldn't decide if I liked it. They just kind of felt a bit plopped there in the middle of the room because it's not a corner. It felt a bit odd. But maybe I did keep them there. I can't remember. Then I move upstairs here to the master bedroom, and I love the new bed we got with Horse Ranch. I keep saying new, but you know what I mean. It was new at the time. The bed that we got with Horse Ranch, the side tables, the lamps, and then I use a bunch of clutter that we got with the Everyday Clutter kit, I think it is, and a bit of Dream Home Decorator clutter as well. Both of those packs are great for clutter. The fireplace, the wood-burning fireplace, is also gorgeous. That was new with the Horse Ranch pack. And then this sort of side table, it looks like an old suitcase thing that I put at the end of the bed, was so perfect in here. And I sort of made this blanket look like it's been thrown over. It kind of works. Just don't look too closely, please. And I think it looks good. And I wanted plenty of space in this bedroom as well. So not too much clutter, but you know, a few activities in here, something to read, a nice fireplace to stay cozy. Sims don't spend a lot of time in their bedrooms unless, you know, if you've got a big house like this, they just come up here to sleep basically, and if they've got an ensuite to wash themselves. So it's not really filled with too much stuff in here. I loved using a lot of these wine barrels to dot around the house as decoration or as sort of functional side tables. Thought that was really nice. I thought maybe it could represent some of their old nectar the barrels that they've, you know, already used up, and they bring them in the house when they're done with them. All of this wood is gorgeous. I love these tones, these wood tones that we got with Horse Ranch. These really warm, rich, honey, nut kind of wood tones. So that's the little walk through wardrobe type situation, like dressing area. You've got a built-in dresser on one side, and then you've got some dresser style objects on the opposite side, and then the door through to the ensuite. I considered just having archways all the way through and maybe hanging like a curtain over the archway of the bathroom, but in the end I thought your Sims will probably want a little bit more privacy than that, even though this is a sort of a grand master suite. They do have children probably because there's some children's rooms, so you don't want them accidentally walking in on you in the bathtub. I guess it doesn't matter too much, but yes, you'll definitely get the embarrassing moodlet in The Sims. I really love the ensuite I built as well for the parents in this house. However, we've moved on now. So this is the infant/baby room. It could easily be used as a baby's room if you want to put like a crib in here first, and then it's already prepared for you for when they age up to an infant. Or if you're like a lot of people that I know, just age them straight up to an infant, because babies are annoying and they do nothing. They just cry and poop and want to eat, and then they do it all again. So yes, I have no judgment here if you want to age up your babies immediately. And then the colours I used for the infant's room, I love all of these rooms actually, the colour schemes. So the infant's room is sort of a dirty pink or dusky pink and brown, and with a bunch of animals and things, animal themes. And then this is a child's room. It could be 2 children potentially. I think do I keep both beds in here, or do I get rid of a bed? Yeah, I do. Keep both beds, so you could have 2 children in here, or just the one, and they can have friends staying over the night or something. This room is a lot of blues and a really dark, rich, chocolatey wood tone. I also use lots of space kind of objects. There's obviously the space rug there, but there's also the rug with the stars. We've got quite a lot of space type decorations for children, which I love. I think it's super cute. There's also the space bedspread that matches the rug on the bed, on the top bunk bed. And there's also one of the pictures that's like stuck to the bed frame is a little alien thing that it looks like a child's drawn. I thought that was really cute as well. They get an activity table in here, a wardrobe. The activity table, I can't remember which pack that one was from. Sorry, because we've got quite a few now. I feel like we've definitely got enough of activity tables. I sort of feel like it's a bit of a cheek how many activity tables they've given us that effectively look very similar, but never mind. And then there's also a desk in the children's room as well, and a doll's house I think I kept in there. Moving on to the last bedroom up here. Oh my god, this is also really cute. I forgot about this one. This is all sheep themed, sort of. I mean, I really wanted to use this new rug and bedspread with the sheep. No, not because I come from New Zealand, haha, but just because it's freaking adorable. And so with this room, I followed a bit of the color scheme. Like, I let that rug and the bedspread dictate the rest of the color scheme in the room. So you've got creams and pinks and beige and whites. Did I say cream? Cream, if I didn't say that already, I don't know. I might be repeating myself. And these much lighter wood tones as well, which, yeah, I had a lot of fun doing. So I think this desk is that a base game or high school? It might be a high school year's desk. This child also, I gave them a laptop because I imagine they might be possibly like a tween or a really young teenager. Or maybe an older teenager who loves cute, adorable things. I mean, look, each to their own. But I love the colour in here. And I think the mint green that I chose for the walls works quite well as well with the pinks and the creams, and yeah. A bit of decoration around the place as well. I wanted this room and the bunk room to look a little bit more cluttered, because I felt like kids usually are a bit more cluttery, a little bit less tidy. And then we move outside. So I start by doing this sort of map. Because I was doing it on stream, I was building this on stream. Sometimes I find it hard to kind of concentrate a little bit because, I'm chatting with the community, with our viewers. I'm also trying to think about what I'm going to build, and there's a lot to think about, and my brain is going in multiple multiple directions. So I thought I'd zoom out and maybe map out where I thought different sections of the garden was going to go. So out the back we have a big stone kind of courtyard patio area with this shed that I mentioned earlier, and that's eventually going to have some nectar stuff in it, some decorations and some activity stuff in there, and then a swimming pool out there as well, and then all the different places where I've drawn in dirt around the whole lot represent where different items or sections are going to go. I also used a lot of the landscaping items from Horse Ranch. So we got, obviously, like a lot of packs, we often with landscaping get just finely tuned items of objects we already have. Now, if that made no sense, let me explain. These red flowers, these red like low-lying bushy flower things, we have an almost identical landscaping object in a number of different packs, including base game. But the Sims team will just clone that shape and adjust maybe the colors, or usually the colors. So with Horse Ranch we got a number of those ones, and I really was drawn to this red. I'm not normally a red flower kind of person. I tend to never use it, in fact. So I wanted to use it here because I think it went really well with the color of the grass and this sort of more Horse Ranch style home. I think if I was going to use it ever, this would be a perfect time to give it a go. So I did, and then that kind of inspired me to just say, hey, why don't I make this back garden here just really colourful? So I did. I didn't bother worrying too much about, oh my god, does this match? Do these colours work perfectly with each other? Am I only using one or two main bright colours? I just said, hey, let's throw all the colours at it. So there's some purple, there's some red, I think there's some like blue and white, and obviously the green from the leafy type plants. And I think it turned out really well, personally. And I went with that for the whole garden. There's another two big sections of just flowery garden type stuff near the front of the build to frame the entrance of the house. And I cloned a lot of those plants over, so there was some cohesion, but of a very colourful style garden. This is the glass house, using obviously loads of items from the greenhouse Haven kit, that's what it's called. But I also wanted to have these beams inside, so I used the beams and the spandrels from Horse Ranch, and then have some outdoor plants as well, so we could use that for maybe some of the oversized crops and things that we got with cottage living. As I said earlier, I think this family that lives here, they're all about the outdoors. They're all about harvesting their own fruit and veggies and making their own nectar and taking their horses out for rides. And yeah, they spend a lot more time outside than inside, was my thought. I also used some like landscaping paint to shape a bit of a walkway around the place, and here I'm kind of making the shape of the entrance driveway. I wanted this sort of circular thing in the center that maybe a car would come in. Obviously we don't have usable cars, but a car would come in and have to drive around before exiting out the other end. And then more landscaping, so more of the same. As I said, I sort of started with that garden at the back there, pulled out a bunch of different colors, purples, reds, blues, whites, and then I once I've chosen my sort of selection of plants, I effectively copy paste those ones around the rest of the build. I come back here as well, loop back around to the barn for a little bit, add a few objects that I'd forgotten for the poor little horsies, and I think I'm going through the debug or just the Horse Ranch build by menu itself and pulling out anything I might have missed my first time round to add in that I wanted to make use of, because I wanted to use as much of the new stuff as possible, partly because that's just the theme of this build, but also I like to try and use everything from the new packs when it comes out, so that then I can kind of learn what the pack has, and then in my future builds I have a vague idea in my brain. Oh yes, I want this item from that pack, and if I filter by that, that's where I'll find it. My memory doesn't normally work that well, but that's the intention at least. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. In this section here, I thought the first flowers I placed were just a little too much, a little too tall. I thought they were blocking the view a little bit, so I changed them for these other live edit plants. And then I frame a lot of the gardening with the new sets of rocks that we got as well with the Horse Ranch, and I believe they are live edit rocks, so they cost nothing if you're going to place them. This is one of the garden sections that I was saying that I used to frame the front. So it's just really for show, kind of to fill in the space as well. I didn't want this huge expanse of nothing, of lawn. I wanted to have more garden. I wanted it to look like the family that lives here are really proud of their gardening, and they do a lot to landscape their lot. And so when you come to visit, it's quite impressive with the work that they've put in to make this place really quite gorgeous. And then with this one, I can't remember if I cut out the footage, but I basically copy and paste this side and I put it over onto the other side of the entranceway as well, just so that there's a little bit of symmetry there. I think the shape of the garden ends up being slightly different. It's kind of like a kidney shape garden. I didn't want it to look too perfect either. that was my thinking with the different colors as well. Often I probably build a little too perfectly, you know. I was trying to get away from that habit of mine, and trying to make something that felt like more of an organic garden. Like, these people are not, they don't need their garden to look absolutely perfect. They just need it kind of functional and a little natural looking. And I really like that. It feels very, even though the Horse Ranch pack is a bit more on the American style of things, the gardening in here, I wanted it to feel a little bit more like English cottage gardening, where there is a lot of mismatched stuff all together, and it feels quite organic, almost like wildflowers, but strategically placed, of course. Then there's this cute little chicken coop area. I fenced it with some debug or live edit fencing. And the interior of the glass house has also got a bunch of stuff that came with the Glass House Haven kit. Or was it the Glass House Haven kit that came with all this stuff? I think it must have been, with these tables and things. It must have been. I'm getting confused now. It was a while ago. I can't believe how many DLCs we got in the last sort of 12 months. It feels like a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been making lots of content. It feels like a lot. So, cluttering up this area, this brick that we got with the Greenhouse Haven kit. I love it so much. I'm so obsessed with that brick. I really wish, though, that we got a swatch that didn't have the tufts of grass coming through. That's my only gripe about that brick, because it is gorgeous. I want to use it everywhere, but I also want to maybe like use it in some interior situations. Not everywhere. It would look a little bit weird in some places, but maybe in sort of a mud room, or the first little entrance way of a house or something. I think it could be cute, but I wouldn't use the current swatches because there are little bits of grass, and it's doesn't quite work. This is the small shed out the back, which in my mind, it used to be like a pool house, but has been now renovated or changed to be a nectar room or nectar section. And then, of course, we've got the nectar vineyard here just across from the pool. And I wanted to draw these lines, and I tell ya, it was such a pain trying to get these very exact horizontal lines or vertical lines. I got there in the end, but it took me a hot minute for sure. And then I just pulled out these items from, are they from My Wedding Stories, or are they from Horse Ranch as well? They might be from Horse Ranch, actually. Anyway, these what look like little grapevines, and place them in this area. Obviously, this is nothing that's functional. It's really just for show. I just think it looks adorable, and I needed to have this in our farm, especially once I decided that the shed was going to become a nectar room and a nectar making room. I thought, well, if they make nectar here, why don't they also grow nectar here? And then a bunch of landscape painting around the place, a few little touch-ups, some kind of stone work around, some additional plants, and at the back I wanted something to indicate the end of the section, and I sort of wanted something that, I mean, it doesn't give them a lot of privacy, but I just wanted something so that their swimming pool wasn't then open up to the rest of the fields behind them. So I used some half wall like a platformy thing, and then some fencing out of the live edit menu, and a bunch of plants, and it took me a little while to get this all sorted, but I just layered up some flowers and plants and things above here, so it's not a full fence that's blocking out any sunshine or anything like that, but it gives that illusion that this is the back of the house, right, and the rest of it beyond is not their property, is not their land. I think that's pretty much it for the build. I can't believe I managed to talk my way through all of that. I was really nervous about being able to say enough. I thought I might have to just pad it with music. But the screenshots will be up shortly. And if you want to download this build, my gallery ID is, of course, KiwiSimsKate without any spaces. You can find this build and all of my other ones there. And if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button because it means a lot. And recently we've made some wonderful new friends through our castle build, and it's just really it's amazing. It feels so good to see people enjoying my content. It means so much. So thank you everyone who watches, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care out there. Bye.